how about that? Right on the nose today, noon, straight up. It's time off my purgatory, and I need that. Stop on in, folks. Say hello. Enter and sign in, please. Looks like things are happening. Good, good, good. Do that and that. On today's Friday noontime webcast, a 1969, but good, Martin D28. Not just good, better than good. It's great because it's been completely refurbed. And I'll tell you all about that. But first, let me play you the thing. One person, you win. Who's the first person in the room here? Two people. Very good. Your old pal Stevie Coyle here at Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California with a Friday noontime, almost every Friday noontime webcast. And here it is. It's looks just like a Martin D28. But it's been redone. Better than new. Really and truly better than new. And I'll tell you all about that. But first, you back up a little bit. Don't overdrive the mic. Are you getting good audio there? The two of you that are in the room there? Let me know how it sounds, would you please? I will until I hear it differently. Oh yeah. I'll be back at 12:15. Sorry for the distraction, folks. Sorry. Yes means sounds good. Okay, good. I will proceed. 1969 D28. D stands for Dreadnought. Generally speaking, Martin's biggest guitar, because it was named after, I still don't quite understand the connection, named after the biggest ship in the British Navy, Dreadnought. So it's a big guitar, big in every respect except the width of the fingerboard. The body is big, the width of the lower bout is big, the depth is big, the waist is wide, so it sits up kind of high in your lap. But if you can do a Dreadnought, do one of these, do an old Martin. There's something about old Martins, don't know what it is. If it's that and I don't know if anybody really knows what it is. It has something to do with the wood drying out, the glue at the time drying out and knitting everything together, the vibrations moving through the guitar, through those glued up bits, from one panel to another. Who knows? Something about the cellular structure of the wood. But undeniably, there's something about an old guitar and an old Martin. Hard to beat. So, you may ask, and I'm sure you have, Stevie, what happened to that guitar? It came in after having been played to death, and it died happily. But it had been played to death. It had been played and played and played. And it probably not a whole lot above the third fret because, like a lot of guitars, a lot of Martin guitars rather, at the end of the 60s and going into the 70s, the bridges were put on in the wrong place. The upshot of which is that guitar sounded good in first position down here. The minute you got above the third fret, it would not intonate properly. Very sad for those of us that played up the neck. This fella, I think, who played it a ton down that way. Anyway, that fella passed away. His wife brought it in and said, can we sell this guitar as is? I said, I don't think so. I don't think so. So we worked out a deal. It has been expertly and completely redone, had a complete overhaul by my guy in Santa Rosa, California, Matt Kerslake, capital Kerslake. Hello there. Bill Douglas is watching, Bob McKinney's watching, Nancy Paul is watching. Very good. All right. Can you hear that? There's something about the low mid-range on Martin guitars that makes everything bloom on either side of them. It's the best way I can describe it, and it's not good, I realize. Oh, I was going to tell you what all had been done. That was me that was going to do that. And I'll proceed. Neck reset, The neck has come off, the fingerboard extension has been loosened up, the whole neck has been removed and reset so that the original angle has been restored. The problem, and it's not really it's a built-in problem with guitars, is that the string pressure pulls the neck this way. And after a while, Martins certainly need a neck reset. They just do. It used to be a big, big deal, and it is not anymore. Matt Kerslake does these as a matter of course. He's expert at it, resets the neck to just the right angle so that it restores the action. Frequently, the strings are too high off the fingerboard after a while, and it's uncomfortable to play. Wow. This is like a tuba in the low end. Brazilian rosewood. That's the deal. Now that's why this guitar is more valued, generally speaking, by Martin collectors and guitar collectors in particular, guitar players in particular. Brazilian rosewood has a certain sound to it, a chocolatiness, a thickness, a boom. How do you describe sound? I don't know. Those are as close as I can probably get. Brazilian rosewood, 1969, before it became proscribed as a building. The importation of Brazilian rosewood was proscribed in 69. This is one of the last Martin D28s that was made with Brazilian rosewood. The top is Sitka spruce, I believe. And I really am going to tell you all about what happened to this guitar. Neck reset. It's been refretted. It was divoted. The fellow played so much down here that the fingerboard was divoted by fingernails probably. Those are all fixed. All cracks, and there were several, repaired and re-glued and cleated. Loose back brace was glued with tight bond. New bridge. This guitar, because the bridge was put on in the wrong place, had to be replaced altogether. The bridge is slightly oversized now to cover the previous marks of the smaller bridge, which was not in the right place, so the guitar would not intonate properly up this end of the world. Beautiful intonation, really, really accurate. Just a pleasure, and kind of delightfully unexpected on a Martin guitar of this vintage, especially of the late 60s, 69, going into the 70s, when, they were dark times. So many Martin guitars from that era. In fact, whenever I see that kind of blue plastic Martin, that ABS plastic Martin case come in, I think, oh God, I'm going to have to be either that guy on Antiques Roadshow that says, wow, do you have any idea what you've got here? Less likely that than, oh, it's not what you think it is. Take it home and enjoy it with your family. Because before then, before recently actually, it was a big, big deal to reset the neck. Recently, I'm talking the last 10, 20 years, which for old guys is recent. Sorry. It's the shape of things to come. New bridge. Matt says slightly oversized to compensate for incorrect factory placement, both laterally and vertically. Whew, they got this one really wrong. And it was such a heartbreaker. People would come in and play the guitar before we got it fixed up and say, this sounds really good, but it just doesn't feel right. And a lot of people were detecting the incorrect bridge placement in both axes. Frightful. Pickguard cracks splined, right? And the pickguard glued back down. It had started to potato chip, which is a verb in guitar lingo. It had started to crinkle up and lift, and it's been replaced. New pickguard installed. Oh, this is a new pickguard. That's why. Bone nut and settle, and it's set up for D'Addario phosphor bronze 12s. So you bluegrassers are going to want to put mediums on here. You can. I wonder if you need to. Look at this nice bridge. This is really kind of nerdy, forgive me, but those of you that know will appreciate. Look at that break angle over the saddle there. Nice and steep. It was negligible before. So knowing this guitar both before and after, delighted by the change. $7,000. That's how much the asking is. And it won't need anything for another 30 years. Barring any untoward encounter with gravity, it's not going to need anything for another 30 years. Tuners are good, still the original Grover tuners. wish it weren't true. I really wish it weren't true, but there's something about Brazilian rosewood that has that sound. And this is kind of the last year where you can get a Martin guitar before the importation was proscribed. Let me see who's here and say hello. Hi, Bill Douglas. Maggie 40. We had a lovely gig together, didn't we, in Fairfax? That was really fun. And there we go, and Bill Douglas. Good. Now, if you like, and I'd encourage it, of course, like everybody who does one of these webcasts encourages you to, feel free to share this with folks you think might be interested in new and old guitars here at Mighty Fine Guitars, particularly a 1969 Martin D28, completely refurbed, like new. It really feels like a new old Martin guitar because everything's just right. E chord was way fun. My expectations are not being met in a great way. Playing an old Martin guitar, particularly a dreadnought where I feel my elbow is up in my ear, playing an old Martin, I expect things to be slightly funky intonation-wise. Things have gotten old. They've gotten a little creaky. They need a little adjustment to be perfect. And I steer around that typically because they're so much fun to play. Old Martins just sound like old Martins, and there ain't nothing quite like that. But this one plays like a new guitar. It had so much that it needed, and it finally got it. And the asking of $7,000 is great because built into that is all of that repair work, as well as a Brazilian guitar. Wow. Well, I think that's what I have for you this week, folks. Hey there, Ron. Hey, Rumi. Good. If you got comments or questions, stack them up down below. I'll go back through and make sure and keep up to date on what's going on here. If you feel like it, feel free to share this. Hit the little share button and send this over to groups or pals you might know, guitar heads. I will bounce this over to Instagram and then over to the Stevie Coyle Music, all one term, Stevie Coyle Music YouTube channel, Stevie Coyle Music. Stop by, won't you? Well, great to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And next week, God knows what's going to walk in the door. I don't, but it's always something cool. I'm so lucky. I got the best job in the world. So long, y'all. Down the road, everybody.